long-awaited return to the MANvFAT.
I thought you were going to say that.
The MANvFAT Wales podcast. To my absolute shame, I haven't done one of these since June of last year, and I've already recorded one today with the amazing Andrew, which is going out next week. But this week's podcast is with the amazing Billy Jackson, PF of the Newport League, and we're going to start off with some ways to kickstart success after the new year. We're very lucky in Newport that we're starting a new season, so kind of new year, new season, new me, new everything is happening with lots of our guys. So, Bill, you've been on the podcast before. You've been involved, and I know you've got something to share with. And I will do some technical wizardry and put this picture up as well.
Oh, you've got the picture?
Oh, yeah. I've got it. So, do you want to explain how you're going to start this?
You know, when you were introducing the long-awaited return there, I thought you were going to say the long-awaited return of Billy. No. And I thought, oh, that's really nice. But then I felt like a bit of a pudding after that. But no, I am back. And we had this idea, we were chatting earlier today, didn't we? And we had this idea to get on and record the podcast on tips for the new year, because Christmas has been and gone. I think it's the 28th today. 29th today, which means there are just 6 short days until cheese and beer and alcohol and all manner of lovely foods start to contain calories again. So we want to be ready for that. That isn't my joke. I saw it on a blog. So because we get the picture up, so we can credit the author of that. But we are going to get stuck in to 6 top tips.
5.
Stan. 5.
Only 5.
Only 5. You don't need 6 top tips.
You just need 5. I said 5 top tips, and then we both did 3, and we actually did the same one twice. So at the end, we'll have a bit of a fist fight where we talk, bumbling nonsense over each other. So we'll get started. My first one is so this is my first top tip, new start for the new year. Get others on board. They don't have to be fully on board, but actually they do have to know what's going on. So people you live with, your family, people who are around you, your friends, your work colleagues, Sharon, who always brings in her cakes, who's the feeder, the person who comes in straight after Christmas and goes, oh, my child had too many selection boxes, so look, I'm going to put them out on the table just to tempt you. Let them know, actually, at the moment, I know I'm starting, I'm getting into this, I need all the help and support from everyone around me. Now, this doesn't mean your wife has to do the diet with you, because the last thing you want to say to your wife straight after Christmas, your girlfriend straight after Christmas is, I think we both need to do a diet. Don't start with that. But just say, listen, I'm going to cut back now for a few weeks. I'm going to have a kickstart to my weight loss. I'm probably going to be a bit stricter than I will be in 4 weeks' time. And I know that. Can you support me in that? And you may well find that people go along with you, but if nothing else, you've given them that prior warning. So that first top tip is to get others on board with you. Billy, a
bit of relationship advice you
always
throw in there as well. Love guru in your spare time. But that can be quite a challenging conversation to have, I think, particularly if you haven't had the conversation like that before, or it's people that typically that comes when you tell your friends, isn't it? That you, particularly if you're the fat one in your group of mates, that can be quite a difficult conversation to have. Namely because you're going to play that role in the group. You always play that role in the group. That could be quite an intimidating change for a group of people. So it doesn't have to be a big declaration of I'm going to be skinny now. It just needs to be, this is what I'm going to do. Please be aware of it, and hopefully you can support me in that.
Do you want to go on to the next?
I do. The second top tip. These are in no particular order, are they? Because this one I know isn't everyone's favourite thing to do, but it is something that helped me tremendously when I first got on this journey, and that is the hallowed art of tracking. Now, when you hear the word tracking, I know certainly at the beginning when I heard the word tracking, all I could think about was measuring and calories and the fine art of tracking every single thing that goes into your body. Although that can help and it has got its place, actually there are, I was going to say thousands, there are tens of other ways that you can do it, and all of these do contribute to a much healthier ethic when it comes to losing weight loss, and also, what's the word I'm looking for? But it also is a proven tool to increase your success, whatever that might be. So MyFitnessPal is the one that obviously comes to mind. That's where I started and found my success, tracking absolutely every modicum, every calorie that goes in. And it worked for a period of time, but I can find when I try and get back to that, it's quite a daunting introduction. You don't want to get stuck straight back into it. So there are thousands of, I said it. There are tens of other ways that you can track photos. Just simply taking photographs of your food. You don't have to be that guy on Instagram that posts everything, but if you've got it, it's there. Save it in a file or even just in your gallery. Look back at that at some point. The whole idea of tracking is to have that period of reflection. And you can just see what goes in. A written diary works for lots of guys. Also have those issued by MANvFAT, a really helpful tool, and probably a quicker one, and less look at me when you grab your phone out and take a picture of your plate. But there are countless other apps as well, and even if that's just talking as well, talking about what you're eating to the people we mentioned in the first clip there, or your team chats or wherever, just getting it out there and thinking about what you're eating and being very aware of it is a massive tool towards success in my view.
Yeah, definitely. In Newport, we've just set up a small group, and it is a very small group. It's intimate, and we're going to be. It's just an accountability group for maybe a group of 8, nearly 10 of us now, I think. And we're going to be posting. So if someone says, I'm going to track by using photos, I'm going to track by writing it down, we're actually going to post it in that group just for that 1 month, that clean break from Christmas and festivities and New Year and everything we've been doing, whereas Billy says the calories don't count. Just to get us back and to get that accountability, we're going to share that tracking as well. So it doesn't have to just be for you. So don't just think about the way of tracking that works for you. Think about the way of tracking that will best explain to the person who's going to help you as well. Because pictures might be much easier. Pictures might be much easier for your partner to take in. All right, my next top tip number 3. What you buy is what you eat.
You've got lots of good opinions on this.
Loads of really good opinions. Well, loads of opinions. I'm not going to say they're really good. I would say a key to not overeating is putting some barriers in the way. Now, that doesn't mean being scared of food. That doesn't mean being worried about how people are going to see you, or just every time someone brings around a pack of biscuits and says, do you want one with your tea? Going, oh, no, I couldn't possibly take those away from me. I need a barrier in my way. It's not that, but it is putting barriers in your way, because what you've bought, you will eat. If it's in the cupboard, it's there. It's fair game for me anyway. So there are quite simple ways of doing this, and there's quite extreme ways of doing this. So some of the simple ways, like I just said, that person who brings in the selection box and says, "Oh, have a go on this." You can be that person. If my kids have had, I don't think any other selection box has been made in the world. My kids have got them all. You can trickle those out to different people. My mum and dad, they haven't got loads of chocolate in their house. So I've given them a bag. I'll keep this for when the kids come over. It's out of my house. It's a good way of doing that. So if you can give away those treats, you know how much you're going to need, and if it's there, if you're going to binge on it, it's better to have it gone. This is a really key thing that helped me massively. My kids love chicken nuggets. They love oven chips. They love beans. It just so happens they're the things I love as well. So when Clara, my oldest, finishes her food, she scrapes her own plate. If she's got a nugget left, I'm not gonna be that dad that says you must finish everything on your plate, because we know that that doesn't help. If she eats one thing, then I've got to tell her off, obviously. But she scrapes her own plate. So if she says, Dad, is this all right? Can I finish? Yes. She instantly goes and scrapes her plate, because if she leaves on that kitchen table while I'm still feeding her younger sister, I will snack. So putting that barrier in the way and making my daughter not call me a fatty, but to keep me accountable is a good way of doing that. What you eat is what you buy is what you eat. If you have 10 bananas in your fruit bowl and 10 Freddos in your cupboard, even though they both probably equate to about the same calories, will you eat 10 bananas in one sitting? Probably not. Will you eat 10 Freddos? Absolutely. Don't even start giving me a challenge. That's not even a challenge to me, 10 Freddos. I can easily do that.
2 goes.
But if you buy those 10 bananas, not the 10 Freddos, you are much less likely to overeat food, because you're not likely to overeat those bananas. You might have 1, you might have 2, but you're not likely to have all 10 of them. So what you buy is what you eat. And then there's another, I said about barriers. This is the final extreme one I'm going to talk to you about. And you can extrapolate this to lots of different things, what you buy in the supermarket. But I'm going to say Just Eat, Food Hub, all of those apps, Deliveroo, there's too many.
Not heard of Food Hub.
Oh, it's good. It's cheap. Much cheaper than... sorry, stop. No, I'm not...
Well, I did that bit out.
Delete those apps. If you just say, I'm having 4 weeks, I'm not going to have a takeaway. Or I'm having 4 weeks, I'm only going to have 1 takeaway. I'm going to put that barrier in the way that I'm going to have to reinstall the app, type in my password, and then look at it.
Well, passwords are in that.
Yeah,
well.
Just delete the app. If you want 4 weeks where you have accountability and you have, listen, I'm just going to do it for 4 weeks, then I'll install the app again. That's a barrier you're putting in your way. Just not saving your password in there. It's that barrier. You've logged in. Can I be bothered? No, there is food there. I'll just eat that. Because we do those things out of convenience. We snack on the things in our cupboard that we like to snack on because they're conveniently there. Do we ever really, we're in our pajamas at the end of the night, we get rechanged, walk over to the local shop and buy a Mars bar? No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't go out of our way to do that. But if there's a Mars bar in our cupboard, damn right we will eat it. So the barriers in the way, I think, are really helpful if you're doing a very short, sharp restart. Not so much if you're having a long-term diet.
Quite right. There's a bit of parenting advice in there as well to go with
relationship parenting. I do it all.
What was interesting to be hearing that there, well, are you suggesting that we all relocate our kitchens to the shed?
Could do.
Because I'll just come up with it there. It could be my idea. That would work. That'd be a great barrier.
I think that would be a barrier to healthy food as well, and all nutrition. And there's nothing bad about food.
There's an idea there. There's an idea there I'm sticking with. What I really liked about that is on the notes that we've got, as you can see, as we're looking down, it just simply says banana versus Freddo. I was very keen to see where that was going to go. Obviously, Freddo wins. Number 4 or 5, the penultimate tip that I wanted to talk about is the network. So use your network. MANvFAT is absolutely brilliant at creating brand new networks. In the new teams that we've got for season 3, if you're in the Newport League listening to this, but also the teams we've just come from, those chats I know are still very much up and running, and obviously all our pals in the wider league, the wider club as well. We're all going through the same thing, and we're all at different stages now, which is an absolutely fantastic asset, and we should 100% make use of that. Because if someone's ahead of you, they've already been there. If someone's behind you, you've already been there, and it's a fantastic way to share knowledge and experiences, but also other networks that we've already got. It ties in very much to the point that you mentioned at the beginning about announcing what you're planning on doing and telling people about it. But there will be those people that aren't so into it. It's important that they know, but not necessarily there to help. Actually, you'll have people that will come along for the ride and will be really interested in what you're doing. So chat to them, talk to them, post on social media. No one really cares what you post on social media, but some people will. And those people that will engage with you, those people that are going to help you. And I could list everybody. I could list everybody that you'll come into contact with. The other one I've written down here is gym personal trainers, guys in the gym. When I used to go to the gym, and I've retired from the gym since lockdown, I train in the garden now, where there are no personal trainers that come scurrying along the treadmill to try and sell you a free session or a taster session or whatnot. But these people are often really, really keen to offer some advice and some help. So use them in this month of January. We're kickstarting our 2022 in the healthiest possible way. They're there and they've got knowledge, and they'll give a portion of it away for free. So I recommend taking a slice of that.
Use your networks. Yeah, there's always someone to lean back on and to say, listen, I need this help, advice, support. I just need you to watch. You just need to keep an eye, keep asking me questions, because that will help me. Now, tip 5 is plan for success. Now, this is the one we both kind of came up with different ideas for, but equally brilliant. So, plan for success. Bill, do you want to explain how you would best plan for being successful?
Yeah, it's quite a broad title, that, isn't it? Was this your title? Probably. But for me, planning for success is just a case of setting goals, knowing where you want to be at the end of a set period. So a week, 2 weeks, 3 months, whatever that may be. It's not so much the goal that we're interested in as much as the journey. So what does that success look like? What do I need to achieve to get to A, to B, to M down the road? That was an unfortunate letter to pick. McDonald's. So that could be anything. That could literally be anything. If I want to be a BMI boss, I'm going to need to lose a substantial amount of weight between now and then. So what does that look like? So my typical plan, the one I've set myself for January week 1, is simply to start tracking my food again by way of a written diary, with a view of moving to tracking every calorie that comes in again using MyFitnessPal. But that isn't going to happen for me straight away. I have to start with baby steps, tracking the odd meal on FitnessPal, then tracking every main meal on FitnessPal, and then eventually being fully fledged FitnessPal. And I have a similar goal with my exercise as well. I haven't said this to anybody out loud yet, but I hope to run a marathon by the end of 2022. I've ran half marathons before. So I want to tack the other half on the end of that, setting myself a goal by the end of December to get that done. But that is going to require running again. It's going to require 5Ks, 10Ks, and loads of those to equate to a fitness level that will give me that. So loads of things like that. Do you want to talk about this one? I think that's a really, really important one.
Yeah, I'm actually going to jump onto the add an exercise, but realise it's not all or nothing, because you've just hit the nail on the head there. Because you can add an exercise bit by bit. So it doesn't have to be, all right, I'm going to really, like you did with the tracking. I'm just going to track this, then I'm going to track my main meal, then I'm going to track everything. I'm not going to run a marathon before I've run, to the shops, before I've run a 5K, 10K, half marathon. I'm building it up. And it's going to take, like you said, you've set yourself a year-long target there. I think that's a really sensible way of doing that. So just make sure when you're adding these things, it's not going from nothing to all. Everything's got to happen now. I think that's really good.
It's a common mistake, that.
So I will go on to the point you just pointed out to me, the contingency. So what happens if it doesn't go perfect? What happens if you say, I'm going to exercise 3 times this week and I've only exercised 2? Are you going to tell yourself that the one bit of exercise you didn't do was more important than the 2 you did? I'm going to track all 7 main meals this week, but actually I didn't track that last one because I know it was a takeaway and I just didn't want to see. Are you going to throw away those 6 days of, wow, I've just done something amazing, because you're upset about the one? So realize as well that planning for success might well mean just being better than last week. So last week I had 2 takeaways. I didn't plan on either of them. I was a bit annoyed, but I was good for 5 days. Next week, I fell off the wagon again. I had 1 takeaway, but gosh, that was better than last week. So comparing is a really good tool as well. So it's not a case of just saying, this was my plan, I haven't hit it. The contingency is, actually, I want next week to be better than this week, to be better than the last week, to be better than the week before. That's all we need to do. I was just recording a podcast with Andrew Rowley earlier, and he described a kebab. And when he has a kebab, and when his wife said, "Oh, we're having a kebab," he said, "I just go for a shish," because let's be honest, that's just pitta, meat, and salad. And yeah, he did elaborate, and he said, "Yeah, it's probably got sauce on it, it's probably got calories." But actually, even if you're having a takeaway and it wasn't planned, but you're having a better takeaway than you would have had, then you're doing well. So having that contingency is really important. Do you want to do that one?
Planning for what goes if something goes wrong. Is there a way we can fix it? Can I fix it? You mentioned a really good one there about going for something less in calories. Most places have a calorie saver menu. Recently frequented Taco Bell and used the calorie saver menu. Wasn't a fan. I wanted to be a really big fan because people rave about it. But
we're too old.
Do you think that's what it is? Yeah. That's what it is. I'm only 21.
Grow up.
Or
do you want to talk about making it measurable?
Yes, absolutely, I do. I did see the pinpoint. So it's all very well putting your stake in the sand miles away. Actually, how are we going to get there? What's the plan? What is success going to look like once I'm there, or how will I know I'm on the right path? A really easy one and the most common one, I think, is your scale weight. So if that was 100 the week before, it's 98 this week. That's a great measure of success. It's a huge loss for someone of that weight. But it's also not the only one. There are loads. There are loads of measures of success, whether that's a quicker time on a run that you've had, less food, a smaller portion, and you can see that there's a smaller portion. One of my favorite measures of success is dropping a belt notch or a clothes size. And there's no buzz that I've had that quite equates to that. And I've scored 2 goals since I've been playing in 2018. And my favorite one is that. I was going to tell a story about Andy there, but I think I'll hold it for another time. But just what are we going to look at that shows us? I've been all distracted now by the chicken kebab man at the door. What are we going to do that's going to measure our success towards these goals that we're trying to hit?
And the last thing I'd mention is, and we kind of didn't get into it with Andrew earlier, in terms of what we eat. And he spoke about having a bottle of water handy all the time. Because when we hydrate, it quells a lot of hunger pangs. If you asked 100 people to say, what does it feel like when you're thirsty? They would tell you maybe 10 things. And then you ask them, what does it feel like when you're hungry? They tell you 10 things. And I think there'd be a crossover at least 8. They feel the same. So make sure you hydrate. If you are going to get on this now, if you're going to make a kickstart, make sure you're drinking lots and lots and lots of water, squash, tea, all of those things. Don't worry about the fact that they're not pure water. Just keep yourself hydrated, because hydration will make you, kind of almost trick your body into thinking you're fuller than you are. 5 tips there. Just go through them really quickly. So the first
Number 1.
The first one, get other people on board. Number 2, track. You don't have to track in any particular way, but track as much as you can, because as Billy said, it's proven that people who track more lose more. Number 3, what you buy is what you eat. So try not to have those snacks, those treats in the house, just for this very start period. Don't demonize food, so it's really important to add that on. Billy said, number 4, use your network, and then we both put together, make a plan for success. What's success going to look like for you? Be that realistic, measurable expectation. That's it from us. Thank you ever so much, Bill.
With number 3, I was convinced you were going to do your bit about buy one, get one free. Or 2 for £2. I've seen you do that so much. It's like you're a headline show. It's like you're a headline act.
It is.
Mickey Flanagan's got out. Stan's got the supermarket suite.
I will, just as a Brucey bonus, I will say that one at the end. So when you go to somewhere and they
You're
say,
all welcome.
buy one, get one free. If you want to eat two, buy two. If you want to save money, just buy one, because it's always more to buy two. Just don't do it. Don't do it. So there's our 5 top tips. Thank you very much, Bill.
Thank you for having me. See you again.